To piggyback off of my last video, not only do they know that you get more attached when you are intimate too soon and that you start to love them and you start to ignore red flags, but they also would rather get really good at being intimate and turning you on than actually doing the hard emotional labor that it takes to be emotionally ready for a woman, especially a whole ass actualized woman. Which, to be honest, there are very few women that aren't whole ass actualized women, because from a young age we've been okay with our emotions. We've had female friends, so we've been able to understand how to express emotion. We understand emotional connection. They do not. And often their only means of connection with a woman is through intimacy. And in intimacy, they don't have to connect on an emotional, verbal level. They can just space the F out and feel really good. So why wouldn't they invest all of their time into being intimately good? Because they can get you hooked, they get their needs met, they're satisfied, and you will now turn a blind eye to their toxic behavior. I'm realizing more and more that men will do anything to avoid doing emotional work. That is why narcissists and toxic men are often very good at intimacy. Because why wouldn't they invest all of their time and attention in that? That doesn't take any shadow work. That doesn't take them somehow touching on that ball of shame that resides in the center of every man's psyche, that they will do anything to stay miles and miles away from and never have to get close to, never have to touch. And if you, by God, get close to that ball of shame that they carry around, they will have such a reaction. Every woman knows what I'm talking about. So in being super good at intimacy and investing all of their energy into being good at that, they never have to get close to that ball of shame, never have to do shadow work. And you, my love, are invested in them. You now love them. You are now ignoring all the reasons that they need to do said shadow work, all the reasons that they need to grow up and evolve. They can remain emotional Peter Pans and get your needs met in that area. But don't fool yourself. Those are the only needs that are going to be met. And you are going to increasingly feel more and more alone, more and more isolated, as they do not rise to meet your emotional needs. It is never worth it. I will take a little rubber friend all day compared to a man who can spend at least an hour, if not more time in intimacy with me. Yet at the end of it and during it, I never feel emotionally connected to him. I never feel more seen. He never feels more seen. I don't feel like I understand him better. We have just invested all this time and engaged in the most intimate act that two humans can engage in. And yet, I still do not feel closer to him. Because if he does not do the emotional work to meet me on an emotional level, his abilities in that area behind closed doors mean nothing.